What is up? Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. Back with some more Resident Evil Reverse gameplay. And I was actually thinking about maybe I should do a video on how I view all the characters in terms of like a tier list, like which characters would be the bottom, which characters be in the middle, and which characters would be on top. And I was thinking about it. Then something else dawned on me, and I maybe have mentioned it before in earlier videos, but before any of the new characters came out, when it was just the original 6, I think I basically had said that Jill was my favorite character to play in the game, and why I made a video of why I play as Jill. Now that's changed a little bit because now my favorite character is definitely Ada. I've definitely played more games with Ada, but the point I'm trying to make here is that Jill, for the I guess greater part of the beginning half of this game, was one of my most played characters. She's my second most played character, so it's not like I don't play as her, but and the thing I said about her was that at the time she was unique because she was the only character in the game that can control and position herself in certain areas and just control the whole flow of a game and take control of certain spots and whatnot. Well, that was until Night Howl, who we see on the screen right now, came in, and now you have two characters that basically can control the game. They can control the game through positioning, which finally begs the main topic of this question, and what you probably clicked in the first place. Between Jill and Night Howl, who is the better positioner? Which character is the better player in terms of positioning themselves in a game? Not necessarily who's the better amongst the two in terms of like who's easier to play as or whatnot, but which character can basically hold down a spot better? And that is a hard question to answer because you could take either one depending on the circumstances, but let's focus on Night Howl first because basically how his whole thing works is that he's got a lot of things that make him really, really powerful. Now, I'll just give you a little precursor here. I think Night Howl is a top tier character. I just think he is. I mean, I've had so many games where I feel like the thing about Night Howl, I don't feel like I have to do too much to win a game. Like, honestly, sometimes I just have to get in one spot and the game is basically over. Because all I gotta do is sit there and wait and everyone's just gonna come get me eventually. In fact, the counter to that is just don't come near me. But my point being is I feel like I don't have to exert so much energy to basically dominate a game. Like, honestly, just get my stuff down, have my little sentry drone right in the air to give me some extra firepower, have my little sonar beacon on the bottom, give my defense boost up, and it's just like I got so many things going in my favor. Now granted, the drone and the beacon don't last forever, but they're pretty quick to put down. I mean, I don't really have anything I believe on me that like increases their duration or whatnot, and hell, it's just I think the only thing I have is the damage of the drone and the I guess radius of the sonar beacon, but other than that, it's just like once I get everything shop set up, what can you really do? Like in terms of in a single spot, I think Night Howl is superior in that positioning. Like if I just had to take over one single spot, he's just a superior player right here. And here's a scary thing: having two Night Howls go out to each other. And this was actually the difference in the game right here. And as I said, just going in that radius, those few seconds, they can just slow you down. And whether you're human or infected, that seconds is so critical and so crucial. And yes, you can destroy those things, but if you position them in the right place, it's hard to get to them before it's too late for the Night Howl himself is already killing you, or the drone. So you have so many things. As I said, he's kind of like the ultimate camper. He can just be in one spot. He's got his drone to shoot you. He's got this sonar to slow people down in case someone wants to charge you. There's just so much he can do to just make the difference and win the game. And as I said, if you're just talking about that one singular spot, I think he is the better. I think he is superior to Jill in that regard because, as I said, you don't just have to deal with him. You have to contend with that drone. That drone can definitely make a difference. You have to contend with the sonar, and if you position it right, it's just hard to really get to him before. Like he's basically going to take you out more times, and you're eventually going to get to him. And That's why you can go on these massive streaks, and it's just hard for anyone to get to you. And finally, Claire had enough of my shit and just said, "F it, I'm just gonna dirty Harry your ass." But yeah, that's my opinion on Night Howl just being, a positioner. I think he's superior in a single spot. But let's go to where I think Jill is superior, because the one thing about Night Howl is he's good in a singular spot. Because one of his big weaknesses is his stamina. He doesn't have a lot of stamina. Where Jill, I mean, just look at her. She's athletic as fuck. I mean, she's going to be dodge rolling, not to mention dodging attacks is going to increase your attack damage. Where I think she's superior in positioning is positioning on the move. Like, she can hold up a spot. Like, I've won so many games where I hold up a little spot and eventually it gets blown up, but I have the stamina and the agility to get out of there and get a lot of people to chase me and get those mines. And I've said it before and I said it again. I love the mines. They serve multiple purposes. They're not just things to do damage to other people. They can do a lot more than just do damage. I mean, it's nice to do damage. It's nice to get kills with them. But they can delay people. They can stall them. They can get them to think about it. They can just absolutely give you those extra few seconds you need to maybe reload your gun, get the hell out of dodge, or turn around and shoot somebody. And I have won so many games with just having people constantly run into them or just get stalled and delayed by them. Not to mention you can shoot them yourself, but the mines are more purposeful than just doing damage. And honestly, I'll be honest, I'm surprised when people don't complain about them. Honestly, I'm shocked. Like, I always hear people complain about the Ada arrow or the Chris invincibility, but Jill's mines, they just kind of fly underneath the radar. And then you got the hot dogger, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of it because I just feel like it's underpowered. Like, I've hit people with the full 3 hits and not killed some people, and to me, that's just not good enough. Not to mention, when you get hit by it, it kind of doesn't do the effect of like stunning you in the way that gives you like the effect of like a Chris punch or whatnot. So, ironic enough, I feel like that should be. I feel like if you get hit by that, you should kind of like just get stunned where you fall on the ground. But whatever, I'm not here to debate all that. I'm here to talk about the positioning. But as I said, Jill is more of a positioning person where you can position yourself in multiple spots on the move. Night Howl is more in a singular spot. So I guess it comes to the question of what is more your style? Sit back in one spot or be able to move from time to time as the occasion calls for it. And honestly, I guess mine is just more, I guess, like Jill's. I guess that's more my preferred playstyle. It's just more fun that way. Not to say you can't move with Night Howl. You clearly can. But with the way he's set up, if you keep moving like that, and you can still dominate, don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot harder to get everything set up in a way, because one thing about Night Howl that I have problems with is, like, I'll use all the bullets in my gun, I'm trying to reload, but I'm trying to get all my things out too, and the second you try to get your things out, it'll cancel the reload, so you have to go through that whole process, and you eat through ammunition like nothing. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit more fan of Jill's AR than Night Howl's, but that's a personal preference, and I don't think it's really a big deal. If you're good with your shots, it really doesn't even matter. And pistols, I'm secondary person. But overall, it just all comes down to your personal preference, in my opinion, how you want to play and which one uses their advantages better. But as I said before, I like Night Howl's kit. I think it's really powerful, but in all retrospect, I prefer to have that little bit more stamina. That's just because the stamina is such a key. As a person who plays Ada as my favorite, stamina is so important. And one thing about Night Howl, if someone is able to get past all your stuff, it is hard to get away with him. It really is. And it's just one of those things where you really gotta make sure you got your bases covered and whatnot. Because see, with Jill, it's a lot easier, because if I get chased out of somebody, those mines are so helpful, whereas the other things, they can slow you down, but once they get past them, it's like it's not going to take too much. And sometimes you're not going to be able to kill somebody, but you're going to have to just get the hell out of dodge, and I think the mines can delay a lot more and whatnot. Now, sometimes I will admit people can run past the mines like they're nothing, but just right here, just baiting this poor nemesis, and it's just But that's the power of Jill, and not to mention the frustration, I think, because that's another thing both of them really have is it's so frustrating to face someone who really knows what they're doing, especially with positioning with both Jill and Night Owl, because you feel like you just can't get to them. Ironically enough, I think the counters to both of them is either A, an 8-1 crossbow in the head, um, or B, maybe just having the clear EMP. I mean, there's other counters, but it's hard to get in that spot once they have it locked down. But let me know what you guys think. Who is the better positioning player in your opinion? And do you play as either one of these two characters, and do you do well as one of these two characters? Let me know in the comment section down below. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I can see you guys back in the next one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys later. Peace.